morning. Good morning. This is the Pinstripe Chronicles bringing to you a World Series rematch preview edition of the Pinstripe Chronicles. And I am joined by my co host, the absolute Ethanizer in chief, Robinho. There he is, wearing that beautiful hat. Look at that. We will be breaking down the series. Looking forward to getting into that stuff. What's up to those in the chat? We'll be looking forward to getting more of you all in, and we'll give you all a shout out. Absolutely. I have to say, Dev Finch though early on wins the Morning Bird or Early Bird Award 425. I mean, I appreciate the commitment, but I mean, you probably could have just done it at like 9, but
Yeah, go to sleep, man.
425, very much appreciated. I wonder if he's been waiting since 4 a.m. for this show. But that's the kind of commitment that we have on this channel because we have the best fans, the best viewers. So a big shout out to all of you guys. Let's do it. Let's start into this preview. We'll also break down a bit of the Angels series. It's a fun series. Got a sweep. Rob, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm ready for Yankees baseball tonight. 10:05 start time, which is ridiculous. I can't wait to get out of the West Coast. But this is a big series, man. Ending the month that was supposed to be really, really difficult. The Yankees have done a great job, and this is their biggest test. Rematch, little redemption. It won't matter too much in the grand scheme of things, but just to know that you get another crack at these guys that beat you last year in the World Series. Hopefully, you can just put up a good show. Let's see what they can do. This team's playing very good baseball right now, and this should be fun. They're gonna hype this up like another playoff type series, and it should be like that. LA, it's gonna be rocking. Ton of Yankees fans. Obviously, the Dodger fans are gonna be there. It's gonna be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think this is gonna be a great series.
Absolutely, man. So let me ask you the question that was on the title. Is this team better equipped versus the Dodgers this year as opposed to last year?
I think yes. I do think now if we were fully healthy, I would say definitely 100% yes. But I think our lineup is deeper. I know Juan Soto would provide a ton of offense, but the lineup top to bottom this year has been a lot better. If you look at terms of like the general, just the OPSs for the lineup for like 7 of the 9 regulars, they're pretty much league average or better in terms of that everywhere. And I just think it's a deeper team. It can hit lefties very well. Goldschmidt, Volpe, Judge, they're all doing a great job against lefties. Bellinger. And they seem to have a knack for coming up with the big hit more often than not, which is something that they lacked last year, unless they were 1 or 2 guys up. So I think they are better equipped, and I think we've got a guy like Max Fried that can take the mound and get us a win any given day. So I feel like this team is more well-rounded, and they are better equipped to beat the Dodgers than they were a season ago.
Yeah, they're definitely deeper. Definitely in terms of defense. I mean, look at the defensive upgrade that we have. We've got, for all his flaws offensive, DJ LeMahieu's still a very, very good defensive second baseman. Goldschmidt has been a magician at first base. He's so good at swiping. At scooping the ball. He's been excellent. So then you're looking at Peraza, who's just been brilliant at third base defensively. Volpe's been good at short. And then you got Bellinger, who's just doing everything out there in the outfield to a high level, whether it's in left, right, or center. He's been really good defensively. Aaron Judge is one of the best right fielders in the game, if not the best defensively. Then you got Grisham, who's a Gold Glove caliber center fielder. So you look at it, much improved defensively. Austin Wells has done a solid job defensively behind the plate. So is Escara. So defensively, without a question. Offensively, it is deeper. I'm not sure if it's better because obviously in the World Series we had Soto and Big G. We don't have that caliber, so I'm not going to say necessarily that offensively we're better equipped, but pitching wise, looks pretty solid in terms of the bullpen. and you got Max Fried and Rodon that are just pitching at a stupendous Cy Young level. Um, what is the pitching matchup this series, my man?
Let me get that for you right here. I think tonight, that's do we have Freed going tonight? Yeah, Freed versus Gonsolin tonight. So I would give that to us, but Gonsolin in the past before his injuries has been very good. So we know right now he's got like an almost 5 ERA, which is usually bad news for the Yankees. The Saturday night, Warren versus Landon Knack, who is 2-2 at a 5.22 ERA, and then Sunday, that's a big game. Yarborough versus Yamamoto. So we get to see Yamamoto again, who has done pretty darn well against us in his couple of outings. So I think they got the advantage pitching wise on Sunday, but I would say the first two games we probably have the advantage on our side pitching wise. We definitely do with Freed. Warren, I don't really know what to expect from him. This is going to
Right.
be his biggest test. He's looked really good against some teams. This is his biggest test right here. He's going to go up against the freaking Dodgers. So if he has a solid outing, then we can really start to believe that Warren has turned that proverbial corner and gotten himself on a real roll here. But yeah, tomorrow will be a real test for old Will Warren.
It's really key for Warren to hit the corners. Don't leave anything up over the plate.
He'll
Hit
get
those
tagged.
corners. Keep them off balance. That would be and that's actually the same advice I would give to Yarbrough. Same thing. But Max Fried's definitely in our favor. I don't know too much about Knack. What's the story with Knack? And maybe Dodgers fans in the chat can tell us more. But
Well, Dodgers have been like decimated again by injuries. Obviously, we know Otani's not pitching. Sasaki I believe he got put on the IL. Yeah, he was put on the IL recently. Kershaw just came back, so they've got and Blake Snell's also hurt, kind of like a yearly thing with him. But Landon Knack has made 7 appearances this year, 29 innings. He's 2-2 with a 5.22 ERA. He struck out 28 batters. He's walked 10. He's given up 17 earned runs, a whip of 1.36. So it's kind of a mixed bag. His last start, he gave up just 1 earned, though, against the Mets in 6 innings. That was definitely his best start of the season. He also had a 5-inning shutout performance against the Marlins on May 7th. But other than that, he's been kind of 4 2/3, 2-inning kind of guy. But they had to put him in the rotation because of the injuries. Also, Glasnow's hurt. So their entire rotation just decimated except for Yamamoto. So thank God they signed him.
Great.
He's fantastic. He's so freaking good. He's got a 1.97 ERA this year,
Oh
by
my
the way.
god, that is disgusting. That is disgusting. What is up to those in the chat? Good to see Spence in the chat. Good to see Rob's dad in the chat, Mr. Barros. Salute to you, man. We got Egyptian Magician. We got FJ. We got Acevedo. CT Card, Stevie B, Jonathan. Got the dev in there. Salute to all you guys. Hit the like button, hit the sub button. Shall we talk about a bit of the Angel series before we do a further deep dive into the Dodgers? What do you think, my guy?
Yeah, I think we should. We have our awards to give out, and it was a sweep. It's not like the Yankees played bad baseball. So, hey, they got
exactly. Played
15
really
games
good.
over. First place by, 8 games now? 7 games? So,
Dude. And we got Uncle T in the chat. Bless up to Uncle T. And salute to you and Aunt Tats, man. Lots of love from here. What else we got here? Tyler Glass now. Yes. Tyler Glass now.
what's up,
CT
Ken?
card. That was the worst sweep I've ever seen in my life. All right, well, without further ado, let's do it. Let's talk about Donald Ford. Well, Rob, do you agree that it was the worst sweep you've ever seen in your life?
No, because I know the previous one wasn't a sweep, but that was the worst series win I've ever seen in my life against Colorado. So,
That's true.
this series, our pitching was fantastic. I'll say that right now. The pitching was fantastic. One guy offensively stood out above the rest, and we beat a team that we were supposed to beat. But I don't think it was the worst because if we had won like a bunch of blowouts, or not blowouts, it would be shootouts, I should say, then you'd be like, God, the pitching wasn't good. But the pitching was great. The offense did enough. I think I've seen far worse. I think a sweep, you can't get much worse than a sweep. No matter how you get the wins. Win's a win.
Right. I mean, you can't complain too much about a sweep. We weren't sweeping a lot of teams last year, actually. So no matter the opposition. So it's good that we're actually racking them up, no matter if it was a little bit um, harder work than it needed to be. But there is one guy that stood out above it all, and it's probably the guy that's gotten the most criticism. Certainly from myself, but it's certainly the most criticism. But he really showed up this series. He was the key guy. I'm pretty sure that we're all pretty much united on this one. It's Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe is the MVP of this series. He was the only one that drove in a run in our 1-0. That was a bad game. Like that 1-0 game was just like a snooze fest. We struck out like 6,000 times. I was about to give a low-key MVP to Vivas for being the only person that didn't strike out for 5 innings because all he did was ground out to the pitcher. that was basically the Yankees' offense, man. But Volpe gets the MVP. Obviously, the 1-0 game, he drove in the only run with a sac fly. He had a really good game again with another RBI. In the second game, where we won 3-2. And in the first game, where we actually had an offensive breakout with 5 runs, Volpe was the man again with 3 RBIs. 3 of the 5 runs were Anthony Volpe. So he basically drove in all our runs this series. That's crazy. So MVP, Volpe, Rob, I assume you don't disagree.
Absolutely not. I'm wearing his jersey right now. I got the 1-1 on my back. That's my boy, Anthony Volpe. Gabagool. He had 5 of our 9 runs this entire series. How can he not get it? He was the only source of offense for a sweep. A series that we swept. I guess I can see where CT's coming from. We only scored 9 runs, and one player drove in more than half of them, or basically half, because you can't score 4.5 runs. So Anthony Volpe, man, what a series for him. He's been on a roll lately, and it's come at a time where he was getting a lot of criticism for that one Mets game, and a lot of people overlooked his stats before that game. That was a bad game. I gave him an L for it. We give criticism where it's due, but outside of that one game, he's been pretty fine. Like offensively, his numbers have been better than last year. Defensively, he's still doing his thing, and he was the reason we had a sweep. With not for Anthony Volpe, we probably lose that game in extra innings, and we have his 2-1 series win. So, shout out to my shortstop. Big series for him, and hopefully he has another big one against the Dodgers.
Low key. Do you even give it to an offensive player? But Rob,
No.
who is your low key?
I got the starting pitching, all 3 of them. I think one stood out above the rest, which is surprising because they were all good. But collectively, Yarbrough, Schmidt, and fucking Carlos Rodon, man, what a performance by those 3. Without those 3, this isn't a sweep. So the pitching in general was just really good outside of one guy. But yeah, the starting pitchers blew me away this series. All 3 of them. Yarbrough, we can't say enough. He might be the second best move they made, believe it or not, outside of Fried. You can argue that Yarbrough was like one of the most important moves they could have made right before the season started because he has been. Imagine if we had stuck with Carrasco and never picked up Yarbrough, where we'd be right now. He's kind of saved this rotation.
Yes, he has. He has absolutely saved this rotation. Low key, it's definitely it's going to be pitching. I don't think there's any question about it. Schmidt obviously had a shutout. Yarbrough went 7-1. Rodon shutout over 7. But shout out to Mark Leiter. Mark Leiter was involved quite often this series. He obviously got a big save when their whole bullpen was decimated, and he looked really good. Um, he also came in relief in the first game. Came in relief. Third game, he got the save. I'm thinking that my low key is going to be Mark Leiter. I'm giving Mark Leiter the low key MVP. That was obviously it was a big talking point during the game where Michael Kay and Jeff Nelson were worried about who the hell was going to be coming out of the bullpen in this third game because everybody was basically out of commission. Mark Leiter was like, no worries. At one point, he pitched a good morning, good afternoon, good night. 3 pitches, strikeout. Thanks very much. Cool. That's shout out, man. He's not even really a closer, and he looked very comfortable as a closer. So that's why I'm giving him the low key. He was involved twice in the series and didn't get off a run. So I'm giving it to Mark Leiter. Let's go with the Clutch Award. Robinho.
This is where I have Mark Leiter. He stepped up a night after Devin Williams almost blew it as the fill-in closer. Mark Leiter came in and did it as the fill-in closer. So everything you just said, kind of copy and paste, but for the Clutch Award. so yeah, Mark Leiter gets my clutch for the series. He was great. And he's turned it around. He's had a couple of hiccups like most of the guys. I like that shout by Ken. Ron Washington knew exactly what he was doing. But yeah, Mark Leiter has overall he's had a really good season, and it kind of just goes to the point we were talking about the other day about how the Yankees bullpen is overall fine. They just need a couple of guys to get on a roll, and I think that's where the conversation about Devin Williams keeping him where he was good would make this bullpen overall just really, really good. And Mark Leiter has really stepped up because last year I don't think there was a single person on this show, on this chat, that wanted to keep him. And he's been really good. So shout out to him.
Really good shot from Stevie B. Clutch award goes to Rodon for the amazing defensive play. Jeter, the Jeter-like jump throw. That is a really good shout. My Clutch award is I can't believe I'm saying this. It's the guy that your jersey you're wearing. I mean, how could I not give it to him? I mean, he basically drove in all our runs. Bases loaded, he came through. Bases loaded, he came through again. I mean, he did it. Clutch award, Volpe. I'm just in pain even saying it. And Robinho's delighted.
Where's Lou?
Where's Lou? Where are you, Lou? You
Come out of hiding, Lou.
Sean, Clutch Award, Volpe. It just has to be, man. It just has to be. Good job, Volpe, man, because he's the reason why we won that series along with the pitching. He's the only dude offensively that showed up. Goldschmidt obviously is on base all the time. Aaron Judge on base all the time. But it was Volpe that actually drove in the runs. So there it is. John the Beagle Dad goes Volpedo with the Clutch Award. And
I still hate that nickname.
I hate it too. For obvious reasons. So we're moving on quickly to the pitching award. And that is nice and easy for me. It's Rodon. As I said, spoiler alert, 48 hours ago, Rodon is the pitching award winner. Dude is ridiculous. Rob.
Yeah, we spoiled this already 48 hours ago. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. In a series where pitching was pretty darn good, Rodon stood out above the rest. So he's pitching like a true ace, and we needed him to be a number 2. He's been more than that. So big shout out to 5-5. And I think Spence has put in the chat multiple times, All-Star. The way he's pitching, he might be like the second guy out of the in the game for the All-Star team. It's like him, Fried, Skubal. Like he's been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, not just the American League this year. So he's been fantastic.
In 3 out of his last 5 starts, he's not given up a single run. In 4 of his 5 starts, he's given up 1 run or less. In 2 of the 5 starts, he's had double-digit strikeouts. So in the start prior, again, another 1-0 game, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 8 Ks. Most recent game, 7 innings, no runs, 10 Ks. Ridiculous. Um, Against the Mutts, uh, shut them down completely, just one run. Um, Against the Athletics, he had 10 strikeouts. And then against the Padres offense, he again shut out over almost 7 innings. So what can you say? His overall numbers are just stupendous, bro. His WAR is almost 2.5, 2.2 WAR, seven and
Yeah.
three with a 2.60 ERA, 90 strikeouts in 72
It's only
innings.
two back of Scooble in terms of lead for the American League. It tells you how good Scooble is, first of all, that Rodon was leading it, and then he has a 10 strikeout game and he's still not in first place still. That tells you how good Tariq Scooble is, but he's fourth in the league in strikeouts total. Mackenzie Gore has 101 already. But yeah, he's in second place in the American League, fourth place overall. He's been great, man. He's been absolutely incredible. I can't say enough about him.
Incredible. Incredible. And he's completely changed the narrative because the narrative was like, over 5 starts, you'll have maybe 2 great ones, 3 bad ones. Not anymore. Now, 5 starts, he's giving you 5 quality starts. And not just quality, like ace like starts. Like, wow. Like Scooble Skeens caliber pitching. Um, whatever's happened, maybe this is just the year where he's just the most comfortable, whether it's a beard, whatever it is, but he is just a different man. This is the San Francisco Giants Rodon, which we signed. Um, I love his poise on the mound. He takes zero shit, and he just blows everybody away right now, man. And he's a really good 1B.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Max Fried, he's going to give you the length. He's going to just completely shut you down. And Rodon's coming in with the blistering power, and he's going to shut you down too. That's a really good one too. Um, would you say it's the best 1-2 in the American League?
Probably. Um, it still pains me to think of what we could have had if Garrett was healthy, but yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about the Tigers. I don't know if Flaherty's really been that guy for them.
No, he's not.
So I would have said them because they're like the best team outside of the Yankees in the American League. It's definitely not anyone from Boston.
Hmm.
Um, I think if Cleveland was a little more healthy pitching wise, they can probably have an argument because their pitching is always pretty good. But yeah, I would say Fried and Rodon. I mean, it can't get much better than those two. You got mid two for Rodon, which is like as good as it can,
Insane.
and then you have like a low one for Fried. I mean, yeah, it's pretty. And don't underestimate the power of a good beard. Okay, I'm just saying, Carlos Rodon, he was okay last year when he went clean shaven. It's funny, he had the mustache, he was terrible. He was clean shaven, he was okay. Now he's got his beard back and he's pitching like a Cy Young again. So,
It's just yeah.
what does that tell you about mustaches?
You
Get
see
rid
that
of them.
beard? The beard has aura, baby. Uh, Ken is right here. The Yankees have been racking up the quality starts. Staff is far better than I would have imagined without Cole and Heel. Tip of the cap. You're spot on, Ken. Spot on, and we're not going to be too far away from having Luis Heel. I think Luis Heel is going to be a big pitcher in the second half of the year. Um, I don't know where he is in the rehab yet, but I don't think he'll be too far away. I think maybe mid to late June.
I mean, I think so. I think some point in June will be maybe end of the month, maybe
Yeah,
even early July. The good thing is with the way the pitching is right now with Fried and Rodon and Schmidt, Yarbrough, even Will Warren. I mean, they're doing their job, and it's kind of like what we said about the offense is they don't have to rush Heel, they don't have to rush Stanton, right? So that's the luxury of getting these kind of starts, and that's why when I said about Yarbrough how important he's been, it's affording us time to let Luis Heel come back when he's 100% ready. And when we do get him back, you're adding the rookie of the year from a season ago, a guy that was competing for, should have been an all-star and was competing for a Cy Young for a good chunk of last season. So that's like Cashman likes to say a lot, that's like making an acquisition in itself. So, and it's actually going to cause kind of a logjam of starters, which is a good problem to have. It's like who gets bumped from the rotation. We were talking about that the other day. So I like what we have so far. Ken's got a great point. It's going to get better when we get Heel back.
It is.
That's a good sign.
I'm excited about it. Donnie Clark says he still doesn't trust Rodon until he proves it when it counts. I mean, doesn't it count right now? Pretty sure it counts right now. As far as I'm aware, we're in the regular season,
Say that
and
about anybody.
we're first in the American League East by a good distance. I'm pretty sure it counts now. So I'm not going to disrespect Rodon, man. It's it's pretty good. Now, obviously, I understand probably his point that he wants to wait to the playoffs, but
We have to get there.
you got to get there first. But also, you don't want to miss the journey. While we wait for the destination. Sometimes the journey can be pretty fun too, and Rodon is setting us up on a pretty fun journey. So.
Oh, yeah. Look at the alternative. What if he was bad? Would we be sitting here whining that he's making $27 million to have a 5 ERA, and we're thinking
Right.
Cashman made a mistake? And so, would you rather him have a 2.6, Donnie, or a 5.6? And that should be a pretty easy answer.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I look at it. I mean, it's kind of a no-win for him. So if you pitch badly, then everyone's going to destroy him, regardless of what happens in the playoffs. And then if he pitches great, and there'll be some people going, well, what about October? It's kind of a no-win. So I would say just maybe uh, enjoy what he's doing, man, because who knows what's going to happen? We don't know what's going to happen a month from now, 2 months from now. I know exactly what you mean, bro. I mean, that's 100% understand, but disagree because I think he's doing it when it counts because there's even more pressure on him right now without Garrett Cole. Everybody had the Yankees pitching struggling without Garrett Cole. I don't think anybody on earth thought that this Yankee rotation would be the greatest rotation that we've had. Don't think anyone would have expected Yarbrough to be going 7 innings, 1 run. Will Warren, especially after his struggles last year, to look like a really good number 3 starter consistently. No one had. Well, I think smart people would have had Max Fried having great years, but I don't think anyone would have had him having a sub-1 ERA.
No.
And Rodon, I mean, what pitching like a Cy Young after this 2 years worth of struggles that he's had, and especially in the playoffs. I think there's the rotation surprising people, and it's definitely worth giving a lot of credit and praise too. And
The only one you could predict is Schmidt because everything he does is the same: 6 innings, 3 runs or less. Like every start of his, you could have predicted that easily.
100%, 100%. But isn't it insane that Passon had us as a 4th place team and below 500? CBS Sports. I'm going to share it because it is crazy, right? Because now we can kind of laugh at these predictions. American League East, CBS, only 1 out of 6 had the Yankees winning the division. Only 2 out of 6 had the Yankees even making the playoffs at all. Isn't that crazy? RJ Anderson had the Orioles winning and the Orioles are in dead last place.
Yep.
And everyone had the Yankees as a 3rd place team. I mean, it makes me feel a little bit better because I was kind of saying I think the Yankees would maybe win 89 games and maybe take 2nd place, but that's much better than what these guys are doing. That's horrible. So it just shows, man. It just shows. This team is kind of come alive when it counts, and they're playing with a bit of fight and with a chip on their shoulder. Anyway, we've gone off course a little bit. We'll get right back on course. So we've done the clutch. We've done the pitching. Aaron Boone, I mean, 9, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I give him a 10. We swept him.
Absolutely. And I don't think there's an L that can really go out. Is there an L that you'd give out?
I gave mine to Devin Williams.
Oh, of course, I forgot about that
Yeah.
asshole. All right, all right,
Ninth
all
inning
right,
Devin Williams.
right.
Eighth inning
Well,
Devin Williams, I love you. Ninth inning Devin Williams, I don't want to look at you. Like it
in
just.
that case, here it goes. Rob, get started, baby. The Aaron Hicks Award.
Oh, I have a different Hicks award. Like
Oh shit!
Williams gets my L, but my Aaron Hicks award. I know people were kind of get like his defense is okay. That man cannot swing a bat to save his life. DJ LeMahieu, get him off the fucking team, please. How much longer do we have to look at this?
Poor DJ.
I'm sorry. He went 0 for 8 in his 2 starts. I know his defense has been okay, but is he the reason why they want Jazz playing third when he comes back? Shout out to Jazz, by the way, for saying he'll play wherever. There was a lot of people that said he was a questionable player in the clubhouse. People didn't like his attitude. He just wants to win. That's all he said. He's going to play third base, apparently, when he comes back. I don't know what that means for second. I would prefer Jazz at second, Peraza at third. Maybe that means they're going to give more at bats to Vivas. Maybe they'll call up Jesus Rodriguez. I'm hoping that's the case. But DJ LeMahieu, in a game where we scored 1 run and the offense was not good, he still managed to look like the worst player on the field. And I don't know what they keep thinking is going to happen overnight with him. It's been basically 2.5 years, or basically 2 full seasons now of him just not being good. First half of 2023, all of last year, and whatever he's played this year, he had that one good series against the Mets. I gave him his props because I said, I don't think I'm going to be doing this again. And sure enough, just a few series later, he's looking just like the DJ from last year. I'm talking about offensively, just if you're going to use him as a defensive replacement, that's it. That's really his only purpose at this point because he can't swing the bat. It's just, he's a lost cause. Everything's a ground ball. Weak contact, he's striking out. I mean, this is a guy that Aaron, every year they hype up like, oh, if you don't think there's a turnaround coming, you're crazy. It's like, well, we've been waiting 4 years now for that turnaround, and it's not coming. So if he's anything, he's a glove, and use him the way you use Grisham to come off the bench at times. But just enough with this DJ LeMahieu experiment. He's 37, 36, 37. He's not getting any younger. He's not getting any better. His at-bats have looked terrible for 2 seasons now. What more do they expect to happen? It's rough, and I feel terrible for the guy. I have no issue with him. I have issue with the Yankees continuing to convince us that he is the player he was 5 years ago. He's not.
Oh, he's definitely not the hitter he was 5 years ago. I don't know why, but I think he's actually played better than he did last year.
I don't see it at all. But
You don't think so?
no, he had one good game against the Mets, and I gave him his props for it. Like, he played okay in Colorado, but I mean, he goes 0 for 8, and he somehow, again, you said 16 strikeouts. The offense did not look good at all in the last game of the series, and he somehow had 8 at-bats that looked worse than anybody else in a series where the offense did not produce. So if I'm giving a Hicks Award for this series,
yeah,
it's either him or Williams, and Williams didn't cost us the game, thankfully, and DJ did help him out, so it's kind of like they're sharing a bad award here, but DJ was terrible offensively, and his average has dropped to like 180. Like, in a matter of like days, he went from like hitting 3-something to, what is he now, 180, right? Yeah, 184. His OPS is 507. Like, he went from like 900 to 500 in a blink of an eye.
Didn't take long. 0 for 8 with 4 strikeouts. That's, yeah, I mean, I can't argue. I don't really have an L, so, and you want to go into some Williams? Who's he? Was he your L or
yeah, he was my L. Because again, DJ, I just went off on a tear on him, but I said glove. He's a glove now. That's all he is. Devin Williams cannot pitch in the 9th inning anymore. We talked about this the other day. Leave him in the 8th inning. He seemed comfortable there. let's not break something that doesn't need to be broken. They fixed it. If something was broken, they fixed it, and they're trying to re-break it, like you said the other day, or Tat said that. They try to re-break it. And yeah, he can come back, Donnie, in the 8th inning. And I'm sure he'll be fine there. But why break something if it was just fixed? Mark your words. Okay, like an evil villain, but like, what are we doing here? Mark my words, he'll be back. It's just leave him in the 8th. I said this the other day. He's fine there. He was lights out in the 8th inning. He looked like Devin Williams from 2023 that won the Trevor Hoffman Award. And I know they didn't have Weaver. That was partially Boone's fault, but why was he back in the... You saw Leiter get the job done. I have a Boy Award that I can kind of lump into this as well. Like, you have other options. Just leave Williams where he was comfortable, and you're going to have a better bullpen.
Yeah, my Aaron Hicks was definitely Williams. It's a shame. That's a shame. But we move on because we really broke Williams down like 48 hours ago, so we don't need to go too crazy about it. But let's get into the final award, the positive one. You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy. All right. Rob, who's your boy, Blue?
I could give it to Volpe again, but I want to give a shout out to Jerry De Los Santos. I hyped him up a lot last year. He didn't pitch well last year in the minor leagues. I looked like an idiot. But this year he had a fantastic spring. I thought he should have made the team out of the spring. He didn't. And they called him up. He's been here for like a good few weeks now, and he's been great. So I think he's really added to the point that we talked about the other day, that the Yankees just seem to find these guys and turn them into weapons, whether it's for a few weeks or a few months. They seem to find these guys that step up and just add to the bullpen depth. And some people on the internet will tell you that the bullpen sucks. I disagree with that completely. De Los Santos is a perfect example that the Yankees know what they're doing pitching-wise, and I want to give him a shout because he's been really good. He's had one blip, I believe, since he's given up like 1 or 2 runs in total. Overall, he's been very good. He's throwing heat, and he's coming up in some big spots and getting big outs. So he's looking like the guy I was hyping up last year, and I'm very happy for him, and I hope he gets to stay here for a while because he's been fun to watch.
I mean, you know who my boy Blue is going to be. Because Stevie B is in the same wavelength, man. My boy Blue is Peraza. Peraza is going to run away with my boy Blue award. And I might be one of his last remaining fans, but I'm standing by him, baby. I'm riding that Peraza horse until the Yankees inevitably get rid of him probably for Jazz. Let's face it. I mean, you'll probably never see him again once Jazz is here. But I hope we do, because I love me some Peraza, and the Yankees don't, which makes me love him even more. So hit another home run, played great defense. His bat isn't very good, but once in a while he pops them out of the yard, and I love his energy. He's always like, "Come on, go school!" Like, I'm loving his energy. I think he's a really good guy for the clubhouse, and I'm gonna listen to the captain. The captain said, "Give Peraza a run of games, and you'll see what he's capable of." He actually said that like last week. We don't do it, but whenever we do, you do see what he's capable of. I love me some Peraza, so he is my boy Blue.
He needed a home run.
I mean, Reyes or Vivas. I mean, I think they might prefer Vivas, but Reyes will probably be optioned down, but Peraza will go back to a utility role, and I'm just not sure how often we'll see him, because the Yankees are going to ride DJ LeMahieu as much as they possibly can. And, Jazz Chisholm plays every single day, so I just don't know the kind of opportunities that we're going to expect to get from Peraza. So I'm going to take advantage of getting these awards in while we can, because I'm not going to see him again for the next, probably forever, unless DJ LeMahieu breaks down again. But then by then we'll probably sign a third baseman, trade for a third baseman. So not sure if we'll keep too much of Peraza.
It will be interesting what they do. Peraza should stay because he's more valuable than Reyes. He's more
Absolutely.
valuable than LeMahieu. Um,
Absolutely.
Jazz is going to play third. I still don't get that because he was doing just fine at second, and the middle infield of him and Volpe was great. So I don't know what Boone is thinking. I like I said earlier, the only thing I can think of is that they want DJ to play every day at second, which is a bad idea. Peraza is a better third baseman than he is a second baseman, although he's great no matter where you put him. Maybe they call up Jesus Rodriguez, who can play all over the place, and he's killing the ball in AAA right now. So I'm hoping that's the case, but that would mean Bebas gets optioned and Reyes gets DFA'd. Thank you. That would be great. But I don't know what they're gonna do. Why the sudden change to put Jazz at third? That's
Um, um, the way I'm thinking is maybe it's less of a physical toll with DJ playing second than third, because he doesn't have to range all the way around the third base side and then the dugout side and all that stuff. And obviously, it's a lot more range required, probably a little bit more stress on his legs and arms. Second base, I think is probably what it is just because it's a little bit less of a stress, and he's also a multiple Gold Glover at second base as well, and he's looked very good at second base. Like he has looked very good. So I think that's probably what they're thinking. My my issue with that is the reverting back to something which clearly didn't really work.
right.
As good as Jazz Chisholm was, there was a reason why they moved him to second base in the first place, and that was because he's a much better second baseman than he is a third baseman, in terms of his positioning and all that stuff. Uh, it, like that was a weakness that the Dodgers took advantage of
Multiple
um,
times.
multiple times. That's why you made the move. That's why they made it a decision in the offseason, which we all supported, put him in a second base, which is his best position. I'm not quite sure why they're changing it all up just to make DJ LeMahieu happy, who they almost DFA'd last year. Uh, that's it's kind of once again going back to the kind of stuff that the Yankees love to do, where they like change up their entire plan in order just to make somebody happy. Where I'm not quite sure why they need to do that. Like DJ LeMahieu is a good third baseman, and you're not guaranteed that we're going to get a very long stretch of DJ LeMahieu anyway.
Right. And
Plus,
you have Peraza.
plus we got Peraza. Plus July, I'm sure there'll be somebody available that you can get that's going to give you some league average offense and some league average defense in there. So I'm not quite sure why they're bending over backwards to make DJ LeMahieu happy. It just like it's kind of a weird one, man. And I'm pretty sure DJ's not going to complain that he's playing third as opposed to second. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I want Jess to play second.
Yeah, I want to keep him at second. He was fine there.
Absolutely.
Doran, they shouldn't be in that position. It's easier to trade for a second baseman. I still don't know who that would be. We named a couple the other day. The Angels aren't playing good baseball. Moncada could be available. Ken brought up a great point with Suarez. If the Diamondbacks are in need of pitching at the deadline, they could trade need for surplus kind of thing. There could be third baseman available. And why are we going after Judge? That report was from Barstool Sports, first of all, so we don't know if it's true. If we learned anything about Barstool Sports, they aren't the most reputable source of fucking information because of who they're led by. So let's not go attack. A Judge lost his friend. I mean, he lost Rizzo too. I mean, we're better off without him, right? Are we complaining that we lost Rizzo and Verdugo right now? There's no need to go after Judge for some fake reporting. Yeah, there's third baseman available, guys. So they're good at cocaine too, Doran, but that's about it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a need to make the switch. You know, it was working. Jazz looked fine at second. He was making some smooth plays, smooth jazz. He had a nice level swing last night in Somerset. That's hopefully a good sign that he can get that batting average up and the power will come along with it. I don't see the need for it because it's right there in front of you. There's a word like that the Yankees like to say a lot. There's a saying. Just play Peraza. if they listen to Aaron Judge, like everyone claims that he's the guy that leads
Right, you
every
just said
decision they
Finn,
make.
please get Peraza running.
Right. So if
To
you
the
want to believe that the Yankees listen to everything Aaron Judge says, they should listen to what Aaron Judge says and play Peraza at third every day and leave Jazz at second, and your team is better off offensively and defensively for it. I don't know why they're doing this unless they have an idea that Jesus Rodriguez can be the second baseman. Then I would be all right, that's fine. But Rodriguez can play third also. He can play short. He can play first. He can catch. He can play the corners in the outfield. So I don't really. I don't know what the reasoning is. I'm sure Boone will give an answer at some point, but I don't see the need for it. But Jazz is fine with it, which is what I like to hear. He's a team player. He kills all those rumors about him being a locker room cancer. I just don't know why they have to move things around to appease a guy like DJ, who's clearly better as a defensive replacement. But Peraza is already better than him all around. Why not just play him?
But unfortunately, the Yankees don't really. The organization doesn't really rate Peraza, and I'm sure a lot of people will be like, "Well, he can't hit anyway." But and it's interesting because I read an article by Brandon Cuddy, where he basically ripped Peraza for his like 500 OPS or whatever, and his quality of at bats statistically is not good, or blah 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 blah. And like he had like one sentence where he's like, "But he plays great defense," and then he went on for an entire paragraph about how terrible a player he is. And it was like, yeah, let's just completely overlook the fact he gives you Gold Glove third base defense. Like somehow that's something that just doesn't really matter. I mean, it's actually kind of important. It's actually kind of good. It kind of helps. So, plus, are they telling us that Peraza is worse offensively than DJ LeMahieu? Because I find that hard to believe. I don't think that there's a massive. I don't think there's a massive difference between the two. I would say that Peraza's got a little bit more offensive upside than DJ LeMahieu now at this stage, because DJ LeMahieu physically is about 60 years old, physically. Like, his legs are shot. Peraza's in his prime. He's 20. He's still got upside, and he's shown already this year that he's got pop, where he's hit a couple of dingers, and he gives you range and excellent defense. I don't get it. Like, surely at this stage, as much of a fan of DJ I am, and I try and be, like, he's kind of cooked, right? Right. And then Peraza at least is similar offensively to DJ, but he's got the upside.
Got
and he's younger, and he's healthier, and he's faster. Like, those are the kind of things that you probably think, you know what? Maybe I'll ride with that. That's maybe something you want to work with. But Old Sarge kind of, yeah, I know. I'm downplaying it a little bit.
Look,
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, you're right. And anyone attacking Peraza, they're using 4 seasons worth of sample sizes. He hasn't even played 115 games in his career.
Yeah.
So for someone like me, I'd be so hypocritical to be like, oh, he's cooked. He's a quadruple A player. When I'm over here saying you got to give players sometimes 3 years to know what they actually are. And if I sit here and give up on a guy after 100 games total in 4 seasons where he was up and down, injured, non-injured, that's unfair. Why not play him? There's no better time than right now to give him or Bebas the shot every single day. Now, if they want Bebas to play second and Jazz at third, okay, I can understand that. You're going to give a young player some run, but they also need righty bats. Peraza's a righty bat that can play exceptional defense no matter where you put him, so why not just play him? Like, what do you have to keep trying to prove with DJ LeMahieu? That's my point from why I gave him the Hicks Award. It's just, why the constant need to keep playing him? They're using him as a pinch hitter. They took Vivas out the game. He had a home run for DJ, and what did DJ do? He popped out into foul territory. This past series, he goes 0 for 8 with 4 strikeouts. It's not there anymore, and I feel terrible for the guy. But his best value is what we've been saying for the last couple of years. They're not going to cut him for some odd reason, so just use him as a utility off the bench. That's his value. Is a guy that can play every so often at one of 3 different positions. He can play first, second, third. He can play all 3 of them well. And you can use this as a chance to give a guy like Peraza or Bibas a chance to play every single day and see what you have, and that makes your life at the deadline so much easier. I said this last year. I said this 2 years ago. We've been echoing this for years on the show. Why do the Yankees make things difficult when they don't have to? It's like they're creating problems. By moving Jazz to third, you're kind of creating a problem. It's like, oh, it solves a third base issue, but now you have a second base issue. So it's like, why
That's
not
right.
just leave the second baseman where he was playing well and see what you have in one of these two guys, whether it be Bibas, who can play third, or Peraza, and then that makes your life easier in 2 months when you get to the deadline. You can give these guys 2 months of run to see if one of them can take the reins and run with it. You have no other options, really. It ain't going to be Reyes. It should not be LeMahieu, and the only other guy I could think of is Jesus Rodriguez.
We
But,
did this last year, bro. Remember
yeah,
Gleyber Torres and the Jazz Chisholm thing that they were when they acquired Jazz Chisholm, they acquired him to play second base. And then because Gleyber wasn't that on board with playing third base, the Yankees chose to try and keep somebody happy who they had no intention of keeping beyond that year. That's what I'm saying. It's like, why are they creating problems that don't need to exist? If you've got a plan, follow through that plan. And if someone doesn't like the plan, then I'm sorry. That's their problem. It's not the Yankees' problem. That's kind of how you should be running it. I mean, and it's the same situation. Jazz Chisholm's played fine second base, very good second base. That was their plan all year. Jazz Chisholm plays second. So he comes in. Now he gets hurt, and now they have to try and placate DJ LeMahieu. And I don't think DJ LeMahieu is going to be complaining too much.
right.
He's not that type of guy. He's not like Gleyber Torres where he's going to start sulking. He's not that type of guy. He's an absolute consummate professional. Even if his legs are short, he is a consummate pro, and he'll play wherever you ask him to play. So I don't quite understand like that decision where you're thinking that. I mean, the only thing I can make rational sense of is that they think it's going to keep him more healthy, him playing second, than it does at third. But there's no guaranteed you're going to get health anyway with this guy because he had a hip injection like 2 weeks ago. Like this guy he's on his legs are on borrowed time,
It's like
bro.
the operation guy.
Right. He's on his legs are on borrowed time. He's like, I'm giving you one last like run and then I'm cooked. So I don't quite understand why they're like trying to. It just doesn't make any sense. Just put Jazz back at second.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be a big problem. Jazz played fine at third, but it just feels like they're creating something that just didn't need to happen.
Right.
Um,
Like analytically, he's 79 fielding run value, which is really good. He had a range of 89, 3 outs above average. The only thing that was down was his arm strength, which you don't really need at second. So
there you go.
I don't know what I really don't get it. I understand that they're trying to get more, and I understand what you're saying that it keeps DJ healthier. But if you're doing this just to keep DJ LeMahieu off the IL, shouldn't that tell you more about DJ? Like you should probably consider the alternative, which is just getting rid of him and biting and eating the money just to strengthen your team.
Don't even need to get rid of him. Just have him as what you said, as a high usage utility guy. Just play a number of positions like once or twice a week. I don't really think it needs to be any more like difficult than that. Like it's kind of simple when you think about it. And we know that Brian Cashman is going to try and find a righty bat anyway. So why mess around with Jazz Chisholm? If he's getting comfortable at second, which he did the entire spring, he played second. What are we? It just doesn't make sense.
Right. It sucks that we have to talk about this because the team is playing really well and we got a big series, but it's like the Yankees find ways to piss us off in the middle of a great month.
Make ways to complicate things that didn't need to be complicated.
Exactly. And that's really all it is.
Another candidate for You're My Boy Blue is this dude. Big G. I want to talk about this. I love this. We should be talking about this shit because this is a championship mentality. The Yankees were recently given A shout out to Four Train Savages. The Yankees were recently given the 2024 American League Championship rings at the Welcome Home Dinner. Giancarlo Stanton told the team, "This isn't the one we wanted, boys. The one we want is in front of us. I better not see any of you guys wearing these around." Um, that is like fire. Like that is like fire. I'm trying to keep it like PG-13 because it's the morning, but that was fucking fire, bro. Like that was just like big G. That's a championship mentality. That is a championship mentality. That's like a Derek Jeter mentality. That's a Jorge Posada mentality. That is a mentality that shows why he always shows up in October. Like he's got one focus. He's always got one singular focus, and that's to win championships. And the fact that they haven't has nothing to do with him. And for y'all that are desperate to complain once he comes back and maybe has a slow start or maybe goes over 4 with freaking 3 strikeouts, y'all can go and shove it. You can go shove it because this guy is an absolute monster. And his mentality is elite, and I love that. That's a dynasty mentality. That's a '90s mentality. I love it. I better not see any of you wearing that around. Yes.
Why did we even get one? Have they done this before? I don't remember. I don't remember us getting one for.
Dude, it's been so long since we won an American League championship, so we haven't.
Yeah, we won the last time we did. We won it at the World Series, so we never needed a ring. For
right,
that.
Exactly.
I wonder if they got one for 03, but yeah, I like there were other players as well. Like Tim Hill was kind of like it'd be cool if it was a World Series ring. So I like that pretty much everyone was in line with like, yeah, we don't want this one. I think someone said like I'm gonna put it in a box and just leave it. But I'm glad that he said that, man, because if people are saying to cut him when he comes back, we don't need him because we have Ben Rice, we don't need him because of Trent Grisham. I just saw Ken's earlier comment about adding to the depth of the bench. Wouldn't that make the bench better if you're having a good player, potentially 2 good players sitting daily? I mean, that creates a good problem to have. I know it's going to take at-bats away from players that deserve it, but you're telling me you wouldn't want Giancarlo Stanton in the lineup in like a game in September that could be for a division title in case things go awry this year like they have in the past, or in the playoffs. Imagine if we didn't have him in October. You're going to say, who's to say that Ben Rice is going to have those moments in the playoffs? We don't know. We don't want to put that pressure on him right now because he's having a good first 2 months. You want a guy that's been there and done that. And Giancarlo Stanton has been there and done that more times than anyone else on this roster. He is the best player on this team in October. That includes Aaron Judge.
Right.
I have no problem saying that. I love Aaron Judge. I'll defend that dude till I can't no more. But when it comes to the postseason, who do I want up in a big spot? Him or Giancarlo Stanton? It's Giancarlo Stanton every day of the week. I hope like Aaron Judge
500 OPS.
Right. I do hope Judge changes that narrative sooner than later.
I think he will.
But right now, you can't tell me you don't want G on this roster in the playoffs. Like, come on now. Let's not be stupid.
And after you watch the Angels and the Rockies series, you're telling me that we don't need Giancarlo Stanton?
Thank you. As good as Rice has been, as good as Trent Grisham has been, Grisham's been kind of struggling lately. Let's call it like he hasn't been hitting as many home runs lately, and his OPS is dropping.
Absolutely.
We knew this was going to come.
He struck out like we struck out like 4,000 times in that last game. So, I mean, I think we need Big G. And also, here's another positive way of looking at it. Our World Championship teams had very strong benches. We had Darryl Strawberry coming off the frickin' bench, right? At that time, one of the greatest hitters of all time. He was a phenomenal hitter, Darryl Strawberry, certainly for the Mets. And he was someone that could easily have played regularly. We had guys like Tim Raines. We had
Soho,
Ricky Leday could come in.
Chili Davis.
We had Chili Davis. We had Bellinger. Remember the freaking Cody's dad. We had a really good bench, and they could all come in and play significantly when required. And none of them were selfish. They were all just ready. They were all locked in, and I don't recall back then Yankee fans crying about, "Oh, you're taking away at bats from
Jim Leyritz.
Jim Leyritz." Jim Leyritz is another good name.
Jose Vizcaino. Like, look at '09.
Vizcaino's another
Jerry
one,
Hairston Jr., Eric Hinsky. Like, I mean, these
right?
are good players that we had sitting on the bench that contributed to a world championship.
Absolutely. Um, and there's others that we're forgetting that were just really good freaking hitters. Shane Spencer, he was solid. Guys, we had a good, strong bench, and it allowed us. Homer Bush was another. I mean, it allowed us that we could rotate at times, rest guys, others, and you knew that you're always going to constantly get quality performances. So what? You're telling me that now we're actually in pretty good shape. See, we need to rest Stanton for a day or two. Now we've got Ben Rice is going to come in.
Take your pick. Grisham, Rice, Dominguez, like any
Nielsen,
one of these
Glenallen
guys.
Hill. I loved Glenallen Hill. Glenallen Hill went on that monster run where he hit a home run every single at bat for like a 3-week stretch. Canseco, not such a good comparison, but Glenallen Hill definitely was very good. But I mean, it's a perfect example that this team is so much deeper than last season. This team is so much deeper than actually in a number of years, because now you can like say in the past, if when Stanton got injured, we were screwed because we had no depth, nobody that could step in. Now we've got Ben Rice that can step in. Now you got Grisham that can come in, play center field regularly. Got Jason Dominguez. We have depth, and it's getting even better. So I feel pretty good about where we're at in terms of our depth. So I'm not going to complain too much about who's going to be playing one day to the next, because we actually have good depth, and they're all going to be wanting to be part of something special. So
Yeah.
I think we're in pretty good shape.
Plus, it makes people better. Like, I don't think, as good as Grisham has been, I don't know if he's an everyday guy, because you're starting to see the signs of him, at least offensively. The bat hasn't been as good over the last week. His OPS is dropping, his average is dropping, which is, again, to be expected. No one thought this guy was going to hit 1,000 OPS all season. So even Ben Rice, he's going to go through a rough patch. It's almost guaranteed. That's how baseball works. Everybody goes through it. Nobody is hot. Maybe, I don't know if it'll happen to Judge this year because he's been otherworldly, but players will have a hot streak, then they'll go cold for no reason. Only the best of the best will be able to avoid a long stretch. We didn't see Soto have that last year, but he's having that this year. He's had a stretch of games where he's just not looked good at all. It happens to everybody. So you're telling me that when that eventual slump does happen for some of these guys that have been boiling hot when no one saw it coming, you don't want Stanton to be there in the lineup to hit one 450 feet. Right. Even if he strikes out the other 3 at bats, that one at bat could change the game. So you're telling me that he doesn't make the team better? Would you rather have Stanton on the active roster or Pablo Reyes?
And here's another brilliant bench name that we've forgotten: Ruben Sierra. Ruben Sierra, who had 1,300 RBIs in his career and 17 Silver Sluggers and 4 All-Star appearances and 300 home runs in his career. He was playing off the bench for us in 2003. Right? So I don't think back then people were complaining too much about maybe sitting somebody in order to play Ruben Sierra on a day, So
right.
It's important to have depth. Sunil mentions Melky Cabrera. We love the Milkman.
That year he kind of started, because they had Gardner coming off the bench in '09. Gardner and Melky kind of split time.
That's right. Brett
Melky was
09.
So yeah, we just keep finding different names. That proves the point that you want a strong bench. This way, any given day, a good player can come in a pinch hit spot, or You're going to have somebody, and that's a good problem to have, to say, oh my God, we have Ben Rice sitting
Great problem.
today.
Yeah.
Like last year, we had Jahmai Jones on the bench like all season pretty much. The year before, Billy McKinney and Jake Bowers were starting, and our bench was made up of randoms that I don't even remember anymore, and it wasn't that long ago. So, yeah, sign me up for a bench of Ben Rice and Grisham and Ascara and LeMahieu. Please, I would take that any day of the week
It's a
over what
great,
we had last season.
literally a great bench. CVB's favorite was Ruben Sierra. I loved picking Ruben Sierra.
Was he the one that hit the double
Yes, he
in
did.
04?
Clutch double in 04, man. He was Mr. Clutch. Um, he's part of the 03 World Series team.
AL championship team.
And then the 04 team, he was super clutch. It was Ruben Sierra. So there we go. There's another blast from the past. And obviously, I expect that our colleagues that do the history show, Spencer being one of them, will maybe do a show about those guys. FJ mentions Miguel Cairo. David Justice. Oh, yes. Justice for Justice. Chili Davis is another great option. So this episode is now going back into remembering all the great bench players that we had. But the point stands that you're much better equipped to win championships with a deep bench, with guys that can step in on any given day, and like an unselfish attitude. I love that from Big G. I love that from Jazz Chisholm, where he's like, "You put me wherever you want to put me, Boone. I just want to win a ring." That's the kind of mentality that we need. It just feels like this is a locked-in team this year. It feels like maybe perhaps the taste of the World Series has kind of woke them up a little bit, because they just seem to be playing with a little bit more intensity this year than they did last year, and that was with like Soto and all that stuff, who was just fantastic. But they just seem a little bit more locked in. So
yeah,
I do think that we're better equipped to take on the Dodgers this series. Could sneak 2 out of 3. I would not be surprised. The matchups could favor us in 2 out of the 3 occasions. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost 2 out of 3, but I don't think it's going to be like anything that's going to like throw us off course too much. We're in pretty good shape. We're going to get better. We've got Luis Heel coming back. We've got Big G imminent. We've got Jazz Chisholm imminent. So we got like pieces coming. And then I'm sure at the deadline we will make some moves as well to get even better. This could be a fun year. This could be a team that could that I do expect now to go to the CS to take on the Tigers. 2 best teams in the American League for sure. So I know it's early, but you got to feel pretty good about where we're at, Rob.
Oh yeah, I mean, think about it. We were talking about trying just to stay afloat after the first month, like just be around or above 500 by a few games and you'll be fine, because we knew with the injuries it was going to be more difficult. But here we are, May's about to end in a couple of days, and we're second best team in the American League, one of the best records in baseball. They would have had the best record if not for the closer issues early in the season. And this is a team that has played much better than a lot of people's expectations. I still thought they were going to win a lot of games, but I didn't see this coming.
No.
I mean, everyone's playing well with the exception of a few. The pitching has been better than anyone could have thought it would be. The bullpen's been fine. They made the switch necessary when they needed to make it, so now they got their closer and setup man figured out. And they're getting guys back, so let's try to end the month on a high note, get a couple of wins under our belt. If we can take 2, that'd be great. Go what will be 8 straight series wins. That would be phenomenal. I'm not going to guarantee it, because the Dodgers, while their pitching has struggled, their offense is still probably the best in the league still. They still have Ohtani. They still have Freddie Freeman. They still got Mookie. These guys can hit. But I do think we have the better pitching matchups this time around, so maybe that'll help us in our favor. But yeah, look, it's May 30th. It's about to be June 1st. First 2 months in, one of the best records in the American League. Comfortable lead in the East to this point. You couldn't have asked for much more. So let's just try to end it on a high note and hope that we're coming back here on Monday talking about a series win.
It's going to be a fun series. Now, me and Rob were talking off air. Rob, did you want to call the game on Sunday?
I think we should. Sunday night baseball, finale of the series. Tonight's way too late to do it, admittedly.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
too old. And Donald's on a whole other time zone, so it'd be like 5 in the morning where he is. Although Dev's up at 5 a.m., but tomorrow night would be difficult for me because of my schedule, but I think Sunday
And
night.
plus the Knicks are playing on Saturday
Yeah, you
night.
got the Knicks game, so I think
So
Sunday night sounds
Sunday
like a
night,
plan.
baby. So everyone in the chat, come and join us on Sunday. Me and Rob will be calling the game. Could be fun. So you guys choose us on Sunday because I know there'll be plenty of competition. There'll be a lot of streams, but hop on, choose us, and we'll keep you entertained. And we'll cover the game on Sunday. So you guys have that to look forward to. Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's the first game that we've called since last year, so it's going to be fun. Salute to everybody in the chat. I do want to say a personal thank you to every single one of you that spent your Friday mornings with us. Got the girls on Sunday morning, and then Sunday night you got us again. So guys, enjoy that Dodgers series. Enjoy your weekend. Love to Uncle T, and love to all you guys that continue to support us. Rob, final thoughts?
Let's go Yanks. Thank you to everybody in the chat, and I echo what you said. Uncle T, Mrs. T, wishing all the best for you. We love you. We'll hope to see you back on Monday, Uncle T. And let's fucking go Yankees. Biggest series of the season right here. Let's end the month on a high note. Let's go.
Salute, guys.